Now I'm talking to you guys as Kgopotso Mutlane, you know, Kgopotso Mutlane, not coach. The story that I will be sharing with you guys has nothing to do with coach, but it has everything to do with Kgopotso because that was the build up into becoming coach. You understand? Because one thing I hate the most is to have so many followers on social media who don't even know what they are following or who they are following. You understand? So in case you don't know, this will put clarity to so many things, because not knowing or understanding who you're following ends up giving you wrong impressions about people, you know. For example, when you come to my timeline and you see these nice cars and nice lifestyle, and automatically the first thing which comes to your mind is this guy is bragging. That's going to be the first thing if you don't know. But if you know, the first thing that's going to come to your mind, you know that this guy is actually celebrating, you know, because I've been posting when I was poor. So I won't stop posting even now. I've been posting when I was poor. It's just that nobody was watching. As you know, life, nobody is watching when you have nothing. They only want to see when you have something. And then when they see that you have something, they're starting to follow you and plan and wait for your downfall. Unfortunately, some of us, the God that we pray does not wear a trouser. The God that we pray does not ask for tithe every Sunday from people, you know. The God that I pray is a true God. Whatever that you might wish on me is going to come onto you and your family. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. That's the kind of God I pray, you know. But nonetheless, I hope everyone who's watching is watching from a good point of view and not vice versa. So basically, I would like to believe that I was actually conceived. Conceived simply means that a sexual intercourse took place. By the way, I'm that stupid whereby I'll be disclosing almost all details, you know. I believe it's 2 a.m. right now and kids are sleeping. If you are here, you must be an adult. So I believe that I was conceived in 1994, right? Conceived in 1994 when apartheid just ended, you know. Unfortunately, I couldn't see anything or remember anything. So my parents had sex in 1994. Since I was born in May, that simply means that they probably had sex just around maybe like August, I think. Yeah, like August, I think. Yeah. And then the way my mom tells me is that when I was still inside her stomach, I used to be playful, you know, kicking and all that like other kids. And she didn't have much of cravings. You know, she didn't have much cravings when she was carrying me, the way she puts it, you know. And even me personally, I don't remember being in my mother's stomach and hungry. I don't remember being hungry, you know, in her stomach. I don't even remember anything. You know, life is funny. I don't even remember a single little thing. So, my mom, obviously, poverty, you know, Limpopo conditions, poverty. And she said that I was not planned. To put it correct, I'm a mistake, you know. I was not planned. I'm a mistake. Now, this simply means that if had it been modern times like now, I think I would have been aborted, you know, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who are abort kids or do things like that. Just in case you're watching and you've done an abortion, I'm not referring to you. Don't feel guilty. However, but I was a mistake. A mistake simply means that my mom says that she didn't know that she was gonna fall pregnant, you know? And it's funny because how can you have sex and not know that you might fall pregnant? Like, I don't get it though. I'm like, but obviously, most of us we are mistakes, in a sense. Ya gore, our parents didn't plan us. You understand? Our parents didn't plan us, but as soon as they found out that we are here or we are there, they kept us. We should always be thankful for that, because we could have been aborted easily. And shout out to our parents for not using condoms, because if they used condoms, uh, we we wouldn't be here. So, mommy, thank you. Thank you a lot. You're motivating me. So yeah, I mean, one plus one happened, you know. And she said that she was actually working throughout carrying me as her first son, with depression, family. She was about 19 years old, I think. Family, they were judging her, External family members were constantly reminding my mom and my grandmother at that time, because obviously the father was automatically poor. you know the father was not ready to have a kid. He was automatically poor. That's just life. Which is why you must always plan to have kids, to avoid your kids having to suffer here. So my mom was pushing, she was working, and family was constantly saying, how is how's my mom going to take care of me, because we are poor. you know they wanted to see, how is she gonna raise me. As much as we love family, but sometimes I feel like these external families, they're our greatest enemies. Like, they are more dangerous than people who write a bad tweet about you on social media. I think family is much more dangerous than what you think. So yeah, they were saying, want to see how she's gonna raise this child. But God has his own ways, honestly. I mean, God has his own ways. Throughout the pregnancy of not having health care, not going to checkups regularly, the way she says it, she was just eating spinach pap almost every day, and cabbage, potatoes every day. She hardly went to checkups, clinics, everything. But I survived somehow. I survived with just that inside her stomach. And I'll forever be grateful for that. Because I naturally, we always thank our moms more than our fathers, because the father does one thing only, and that is just to come inside. Then they have a choice to leave or a choice to stay, but they are not really forced to stay. They can easily leave, trust me. But a mom can actually never leave you. That's just the truth. So towards 8 months toward towards 8 months, just about a month before I was born, she went to a checkup, just to see how far I am into coming to earth. Remember, I didn't know anything at that time. So when she was at the clinic, there was this family that we know of. And my mom is telling me these things now. There was this family which said to her, that what were you thinking? What were you thinking making a child where else you know you are poor? You know, now you're about to give birth, you can't even afford pampers. Even at that time, there were no pampers. There was no pampers at that time. Never berekisa, they were using what we call malairi. Malairi, it's like a cloth. It's like a cloth, so like yeah, it used to be cloth. Yeah, something like I wouldn't say a dress, but like a cloth, yeah. So they were telling my mom, this other family of ours, that how is she gonna take care of me? Because the father is broke, poor, you are poor as well, but here you are. But obviously, she just kept on praying that something will come up, you know. Now, when I was born on the 17th of May, 1995, when I was born, I was actually born around, the way she tells me, around 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. I was born around 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. And there was this family. You know, life. Life is something else. There was this family which was financially stable, right? And what they did is that they bought packs of malairi. When I say malairi, I'm referring to a synonym for pampers. They used to use malairi back in the days. They bought like packs, right? And one of the families, the members in that family, which was stable, which was related to us, they had enough to give my mom something, but they didn't, you know. And then my grandmother, the way she says it, she came to the hospital with her old clothes. You know, my grandmother used to do this sewing things. She had these machines sewing and everything. So what she did, she took all her old clothes and then she turned them into malairi. She turned them into nappies. Yes, yeah, that's the right word I was looking for that word. Thank you, Tepo, for that word. Yeah, nappies, diapers. So she turned her old clothes into diapers or nappies, right? Just so that I could have something to wear from the hospital. Ne? Okay, fine. My granny came with those things and then they covered me and all that. I was happy. When I say I was happy, I don't mean I remember that I was happy. No, I simply mean that they say I was healthy, much more healthier, as if my mom was eating the yogurt or these nice things, but she was just eating cabbage and pap and potatoes almost every day. That's why I don't want to eat cabbage. Even today, I don't eat cabbage because I've eaten cabbage 9 months inside my mother's stomach. So I can never eat cabbage again. Never. I'm tired. So when it was time to go home, then the other family, which was financially stable, they had a car. They came in and then they fetched them. And then my grandmother asked for leave. For lift, I mean, you know. And then they said that they are not going home. Where else it was a lie. They were going home. And then when it was time for me to go home finally, my mom and my grandmother were forced to walk from the clinic. I was actually born in a clinic, not hospital. So they walked till they got home. They walked covering me with this warm things, you know. I was wearing t-shirts and diapers. I'm a kid, man. I didn't know anything. You know, I didn't know anything. It was not my fault that things were that way, you know. Now, when we got home, my grandmother used to heal small children. You know, these small children who have problems with. There's this thing here, this problem which small babies usually have. There's a color change on what do you call this? Yeah, whatever you call this. Yeah. So she used to do that. Then a few days I started having that problem. And then my grandmother healed me, she healed me. And then that's when my life was starting now. And the way my grandmother puts it is that she's the one who was actually taking care of me better than my mom, because my mom had to go to work, right? And then my mom, at that time where she was working, she said that she was earning about, I think it was around about 15 rand, not more than 20 rands, where she was working. I don't remember what she was doing, but she was earning about not more than 20 rands, you know. So my grandmother used to take care of me, and she says that I was never really a crybaby. I was not the type to cry and all that. Nah, I was not the type. So as time went by, I started developing like babies, like normal babies. And the other family, they had a child who's, I would say, is almost same age as me, living the life, making fun of the state that we were at that time, and these are the things which constantly remind me that it's very, 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 very important to never change who you are, It's very important to never change who you are, because once you change who you are, you start losing yourself, And once you start losing yourself, that's where you start changing on people and all those things, Now, time went by and I reached 1 year. On my first birthday, my mom, I don't know how she did it, but she made me a party. I still have the photos back home, She made me a party without having money to make a party, just to celebrate my 1 year. She did that, And it was nice, I guess, even though I don't really remember what was happening, but yeah, it was nice and all that. And then now I had to go through the road of going to crash. Now I had to start going to crash now, And going to crash, I only have like a memory then there, not the entire thing, but according to how my mom puts it, like during 1 year, between 1 and 4 years, I was actually smart, like I could pick up things very, very much easily, very, very much easily. And she says that the way I used to love school when I was at crash, it's the total opposite of what I think about school right now. And then she doesn't understand how it came about, But yeah. So when I was turning 5 years, I'm not sure if it was 4 towards year end or if it was 5. I'm not sure, I remember. But I graduated. Now, graduating simply means that now I'm going to grade 1. Now I went to grade 1 at this other primary school in Tsekeleke. Now there I have memories there and there, not the entire thing. First of all, I obviously I didn't have school shoes. I didn't have proper shoes for going to school. I was wearing whatever that I was wearing at that time. A uniform I did have then there, and then I didn't have a school bag, so we were using you see, testic rice. You see, when you buy testic rice, the one for 10 kg or something along those lines, we were using something like that. the designs were a bit different than what they are now, you know. So I was using that to carry. And then obviously, at that time, there are kids at school who are using nice bags, you know, they're wearing proper shoes, you know. Coming to think of it, yes, coming to think of it, it looks like everybody who was eating life from birth till adulthood, everything now has changed. And then those who were struggling from birth till adulthood, now they're starting to enjoy life. You know, I don't understand how this life thing works, you know, because honestly speaking, it's not like it was their fault that their families had money. You can't really blame them that they were living life because Lewana, they were born into a rich family. It's, you know, but it's like all the families that were rich back in the days, now they are poor. And then families which were poor back in the days, now they are rich. It gets very confusing at times, you know. But I guess it's the balance of life, I guess. So along this, if you are still poor right now, just know that someday, some year, only God knows, things will change. We just don't know when. But obviously, things don't just change. You need to do something about it. You know, you need to do something about it. But yeah, so I started going to primary, you know. So in primary, that's when I actually started. If I were to tell you guys that I was actually fat, like really fat, you guys wouldn't believe it, you know. So primary, like immediately when I went to grade 1, my grandmother says now I started gaining weight, of which when I was born very healthy. In Limpopo, when we say a baby is healthy, we simply mean that the baby was born fat already, you know, because when a baby is born as a slender, in Limpopo, we take that as if the baby is not healthy. And sometimes it's not that, it's just the nature of the baby, maybe. So I was a bit chubby when I was born, and then I got fat, like from grade 1, grade R, I got fat. I was eating a lot of pap and spinach. That's why I don't eat spinach. Even today, I was telling my chef the other day, chef put in spinach, and I told him to remove it very nicely and take it back to the pot. I don't eat spinach. Hi, Gabi, people. I've been eating spinach from 0 years to 21 years. Hi, Gabi. You know, eating nice food is just what I want to do now. I'm tired of spinach. I don't eat spinach. I Gabi. Because I was eating spinach because I didn't have a choice. You know, every day spinach, morogo, every day. Hi. Yelena, you guys are lucky. You eat potatoes as chips. We used to eat potatoes as seshebu, as the potato. You see the potato that you see, it used to be meat back in the days. Every day, Monday to Friday, it's potatoes. Then Saturday, Sunday, spinach. And then when there are visitors, that's when you can actually eat chicken. You can eat chicken once a month or once every 3 months. And the chicken that you eat is not really a chicken. It's like a human chicken. You know a human chicken. It's the hardest chicken ever. So we were trained to even know how to chew bones at an early age with small teeth. I'm sure I used to break a bone because, you know, chickens in Limpopo, it's like they are chickens in Limpopo. It's like they are using Herbalife products. Like they have muscles. They are tough. It's like they are training. They are not soft like the chickens that you are eating now. So that's what we used. We call it hard body. So you eat hard body one. That was the best meal ever. And then occasionally we'd eat wild animals like rabbit. Rabbit, you would eat it once a year or once every 6 months, you know. And then sometimes when things went well, you would eat a fish. And the fish is not hake. The fish is called babor. Babor, you find it in the river. You see where these dangerous animals stay in the river. Yeah, so they used to get those fishes, those black fishes. I'm sure we were not supposed to eat those things. I'm sure Corona started with those things, but we just didn't know that it was Corona because there was no science which was controlling the universe at that time. We were eating things, people. Now, we during my early years, grade 1, grade 2, I was abused. I was abused by the atmosphere of the society. The atmosphere of the society. I don't know if I brought the abuse onto myself or not. But here is how I used to be. In my life, I used to be interested in hanging around cool kids, hanging around cool kids, meaning that those kids, by Lengkore, I know they come from well-balanced families. I used to want to hang out with them, right? Meaning that vele from grade 1 when I went to primary, most of my friends were from good families. Their parents were working nice. They had cars in their families. So it was only me who was actually poor, And you know what that means? Now, it simply means that when they want to abuse, you are the first person they will start with because you got nothing. You got nothing and all that, But it's fine. So I was being abused in a sense. I was the most mocked child ever. Whenever they wanna test anything, whether it's testing if a playful gun is working, they would test it on me. For anything illegal or anything bad, they would use me. Whenever they wanna send someone to buy food, they would send me, right? And at that time, it's only now that I realized, actually, this was abuse, and my son is not gonna go through that shit. I want my son to go to school with a Bentley so that nobody is going to take him for granted, And at that time, I was happy. I was what we call an ice boy. You see those ice boys? Yeah, your boyfriends. Some of you boys are ice boys. Your rich friends are sending you to buy ice. Nothing. So I was an ice boy. Now, that's just how I got to develop this unique character. This unique character of having to humble myself to get what I want. I want you guys to understand. I used to go through that because I told myself that I'm going to humble myself. Literally, I would do each and everything anybody would ask me to do just for the sake of me getting what I want. Meaning that I actually didn't have pride. I took pride and I put it aside. And then I guess that was part of my nature, I guess, Fine. Now, there was a time when I was doing grade 2. When I was doing grade 2, there was a time in primary whereby this rich kids that I was hanging around with. Remember, I was the only one who was poor amongst the group. I don't remember, but I think there were like 4 or 5 of them. I was the only one. So this other time they took me, and I remember they said, I was hungry, This other one had apple, right? And then he said, if I want the apple, I must do whatever they want me to do, And I was really hungry at that time, because I never really got what you call carrying money, carrying money. It's the money that they give you when you go to school. I never really had that in my life. Well, maybe at least until when I went to high school, yeah, things were starting to be a bit better. So they said that if I want the apple, I must actually get naked in front of the whole class. But here is how it happened. There were, during break time, all the boys would leave the class and only girls would eat inside the class, because after eating, girls have a habit of cleaning up after their mess. Unlike us, right now we don't clean up after our mess. That's why we were not allowed to eat in class, So they said, let's go to the class where it's filled with girls, and then you must get naked in front of them so that they can see your dick. Then after they've seen your dick, then you can have the apple. You see, I know this might mean nothing to you or it might seem stupid, but I calculated it. I was like, okay, if I get naked in front of these girls, they will laugh at me. But I'm hungry at the same time. What should I do? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to swallow my pride and be an ice boy. Then I did as they wanted, I got naked in front of the class and girls laughed at me. Luckily, there were no phones. Luckily, And then after I got naked, they laughed at me and all that. And then they gave me the apple. And then I ate. I ate. And then I got what I wanted. Which, coming to think of it now, it's funny, the truth. That's just the truth, guys. You can't have pride when you're broke. You can't have pride when you're poor. I'm going to repeat. You can't really have pride when you're broke, or you can't really have pride when you're poor. Sometimes you must know that you are being abused, but for the sake of you having to get what you want, sometimes you just have to put that pride aside, Because honestly speaking, people can only help you if they benefit. Now, if you want help from someone else, even me personally, if you come to me and say, Coach, help me, I'm going to ask you, what will I get? If I'm not getting anything, then I'm not going to help you. But if you say, Coach, help me, I'm going to wash your car. Even though you have pride, you can't wash a car. You have pride, but so that you can. So if washing my car simply means you're gonna get what you want, let it be. I mean, what's the use of having pride while you are poor? Where else you could swallow that pride for a certain period of time to get what you want. Once you get what you want, all those people who made you do these things, they will shit on themselves. Just like they're shitting on themselves right now as we speak. Some of them, they don't even have the nerve to greet me. When they see me coming, they run because they know how they used to treat me. That's just life. That's the best revenge ever, So yeah, I ate the apple. And life continued. Now, problem was that at that time, I was starting to be a laughing stock in school, People used to laugh at me that I'm that guy who got naked in front of girls. My dick is small, such things. They damage your confidence as a kid. And it's regarded as emotional abuse. And I didn't have a brother because I was the only son to my mom. And I couldn't report it to anyone. So I just kept it inside me for the longest time ever. So from grade 2, I was praying that, God, please take me out of this school. Like I wanted a new school because of that. and other things which I forgot. Oh, I remember this other incident. There was a Jojo, a Jojo tank behind the school. A Jojo tank behind the school. So the Jojo tanks, they are always opened on top. So a bat fell inside. A bat, that thing which witches use. There's a bat, and there's this other one with big eyes. We call it liribishi in our culture. I don't know what you call it in English, but yeah, that thing has fallen inside the Jojo tank, and the same group of boys or friends that I used to hang around with, they made me drink the water. Yeah, it's an owl. Thank you guys. An owl fell inside, and they made me drink the water. And I drank the water, people. And after that, they would tell the whole school about it. I'm that stupid guy. So I couldn't defend myself. When you're poor, ne? When you're poor, already you undermine yourself personally. You don't even wait for people to undermine you. When you're poor, you just undermine yourself. So I was at that stage whereby, you know what, even if they say I must shit in public for me to get food or to get whatever, I would do it. And not everybody is like me. Let's understand that. Not everybody is like me. Some will say I'm stupid. Okay, it's fine. I'm stupid, but look at where I am today. So I would like to believe that I was actually being trained. From an early age. These little things, which were happening, I was being trained. So that's why I once said that if you wish to be me, and we agree that I'm going to give you my life for a day, most of you guys wouldn't handle it,